Hello everyone, velveteenduck here. Let's talk about the Infested Sewers of Kingshill event, which is scheduled to run from May 28th till June 13th. As always, if this guide helps you out, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends to help support the channel. To start, we need to talk about the changes to the event reward system. I believe this change will probably end up being implemented to all of the other events in the future, but for now it's being trialed in this event. Long story short, over 99% of the rewards from this event are the event currency Drakens. Drakens can still be spent at Nob, and by the way, he finally lowered his prices of the runes to something a little more reasonable. But Grima is back in the game. You can find her standing in Kingshill with some pretty awesome offers such as lockpicks, essences, wisdom, and some other neat cosmetic items. There are also items that help you complete the event faster. Keep in mind that for most of these offers, they have purchase limits, and once the limit is reached, the offer will disappear from the shop. A brief note about the event structure for those of you who are new. You'll notice that this event spans multiple event tabs. There's the main event, for which you need to collect bronze plumber dog tags, the toxic fumes event, where you need to collect silver plumber dog tags, and lastly, a whole series of Rampaging Worms events where you need to collect gold plumber dog tags. In theory, you could just selectively pick and choose which parts you want to complete, but the reality is that the completion of one part will support the completion of the other parts. Let's start with the main event. If you've never played this event before, you'll want to start by doing a few laps around any map of your choosing. Kill some worthy monsters to collect sewer keys. On these maps, you'll notice a few extra rat-type monsters. They have a higher chance of dropping sewer keys as compared to regular monsters. Of course, if you want to skip the hassle, just pull out the credit card. Once you've armed yourself with a couple of sewer keys, go to Kingshill where you'll have a chat with Sir Hardy, who will give you a quest to enter the sewers beneath the fairgrounds. Cost of entry scales with the difficulty level chosen, but at the same time, the amount of progress you collect will also increase with the difficulty. As you progress through the event quests, you will eventually unlock 4 different sewers tied to the main event. There's the Fairgrounds, Crypt of Kings, and the Harbor, which are the 3 regular event maps that need sewer keys to enter. They have a possibility of dropping valve parts, and parts to craft antidotal essences on the workbench. Whenever you're farming these maps, I highly suggest bringing along some amphora keys. The more the merrier, as there are a lot of amphora to open. Hint, you can buy amphora keys with Drakens at Nob. Make sure you check every nook and cranny too. There's a small chance you'll find a cursed amphora, which is a little more generous with the rewards, provided you're able to actually kill the crystallized curse that spawns. There are also hand wheels hidden throughout the dungeons, which require 1 sewer key to activate. They have a chance of spawning amphoras, leaders that help you collect kill counts towards your quests, monsters with a chance of dropping the rat pet, or sentinels that grant achievements for the first time that you kill them. If at all possible, I encourage you to play these 3 maps in a party. Only one person needs to click the hand wheel, and everyone can benefit from it. The 4th map related to the main event is the Sewers Beneath the Castle. This is actually a boss map where we'll be fighting the toxic death worm. To enter the map, you need a valve of the castle's sewer to enter. You can craft this using parts you collected from the previous 3 maps, or you can just purchase it from the shop. You need antidotal essences in order to deal damage here, which you can either buy it from the store or craft it. The boss is actually fairly simple to fight if you keep these few tips in mind. Firstly, don't stand near it if you're not a Dragon Knight because it can stun you. Secondly, don't stand in the toxic waters and take unnecessary damage. Thirdly, if you can't distinguish between the little worms and the big worm, the minimap is your best friend because the big worm is marked with a big golden boss marker. Oh yeah, and last but not least, please don't use Poison Mastery or Poison-based skills, because this guy has a lot of poison resistance. So unless you really want to waste your antidotal essences, in which case, help yourself. Oh yes, and you see that passageway that's blocked by tentacles? Don't go wandering there. It's guaranteed death unless the boss is actually dead. Once you've defeated the toxic death worm, you get some worm flesh. Sounds pretty disgusting, but that's the name of the crafting ingredient for making the vent sets, which we'll talk about later in this video. There's also the shiny chest that's off to the side for some additional loot. As far as I can tell, you always get the regular chest on every difficulty from normal to merciless, except on bloodshed mode where you get a golden chest with slightly better loot. There will also be a passage to the poison secret lair. You can completely skip doing the secret lair. There is nothing special in this secret lair. Moving on to the Toxic Fumes event. You need to complete the quest Shocking Eyesight in order to unlock the Abandoned Sewer Passage and Hidden Cave maps to collect event progress. The Shocking Eyesight quest will take a fair amount of grinding to collect all the parts to craft an explosive on the workbench, but you'll need to do these maps anyway to collect parts to make valves and antidote essences, so don't worry too much about it. The only thing I have to say is that I'm fairly certain that the drop rate of quest items is the same regardless of which difficulty level you play, so play whatever level you want. Before entering the Abandoned Sewer Passage, you'll need an ample supply of sewer keys. It's a lot pricier to enter this map. You'll also want a lot of antidotal essences on hand, as everything on the map requires essences to kill. There's a poisonous miasma covering the map and 6 red skulls on the map marking targets you need to focus on killing. After killing the targets, the miasma in the area will disperse, and I conveniently forgot to record it, but there's actually a dead body on the ground that gets uncovered in each zone. You're going to want to click on that dead body to get some progress. Once you've cleared off this map, there's an exit that leads to the Hidden Cave. Within it, you'll be fighting Morblick. Keep your antidotal essences equipped, as you'll need it. In the Hidden Cave, you'll need to start by whittling down Morblick's minions. When Morblick himself finally wakes up from his slumber, you'll want to look out for his huge AoE attacks. There's a few large rocks in the room to hide behind during these moments. Morblick will drop the same worm flesh as the Toxic Worm boss, but he also has a chance of dropping the Jewel of Poisonous Thorns. Side note here, you need the Amulet of Deflection in order to use the Jewel of Poisonous Thorns without dying from self-inflicted damage. However, there is a bug right now and no way to obtain the ingredients to craft the Amulet of Deflection. I'm assuming it'll be fixed eventually, but I don't know when. And lastly, there are the Rampaging Worms events. These are a series of events that all work the same way. These events last a very short duration, so you need to be quick if you want to participate. A few important notes. This event is only playable at Infernal, Merciless, and Bloodshed difficulties. If you aren't able to kill stuff at this level, don't waste your time trying to do this mini-event. I'm not entirely sure how many regions the event will cover, but I did see Hailstone Mountains, Eternal Watch, Evergreen Oasis, and Cradle of Life. To participate in this event, you need drill heads. You can obtain these by killing event bosses on an Infernal or higher difficulty, or of course just buying it from the shop. Each mini-event will specify which map you need to go to. The example I'm showing right now is Hailstone Mountains. There will be 5 green-colored mounds scattered throughout the map, and one of them will randomly spawn a worm when clicked on. You need to kill the worm using antidotal essences to obtain progress. If you don't get a worm, you might get some equipment or a gem drop. And as far as I can tell, the gem drops seem to scale with the difficulty level of the chosen map. A few quick completion tips for those of you who are struggling. 1. Please wear your speed boots. 2. There's only ever one worm per map, so once you found it, you can stop searching and just reset the map. 3. If you want to be able to teleport out of the map even while you're besieged by a whole bunch of monsters, the universal map is a priceless tool. You can either buy the permanent one for Andermans from the shop, or you can buy a temporary version from Thabo with some realm fragments. Or, as you can only get progress from the worm that pops up from the mound, I went and checked how much progress you get per level. Here it is. And I believe for most players, it will be the most cost-effective to run on Merciless difficulty. It takes 20 runs to finish the event on Merciless, and it's free to enter, but on Bloodshed mode, it takes 16 runs, and you actually have to pay to enter, so I think that's an easy choice. Okay, So basic event structure and tips are done. Let's talk about the 2 equipment sets that you can get from this event. You can choose to believe in luck and farm for it, or you can collect your worm flesh and use equipment creation crafting on the workbench to obtain it. Starting off with the Poison Buster set. This is a 3-piece set that occupies the shoulders, torso, and 2-handed weapon slots. The 2-piece set bonus is just some crit, which is pretty self-explanatory. Here's a look at the 3-piece set bonus in action though. You just have to hit a target and you'll see some green sparkles surrounding it. 10 seconds later, you'll get an explosion of poison damage. Honest review here, it is not worth it. If you want to use 2 pieces for the crit bonus, fine, but don't use all 3 pieces. There's way better stuff out there. Now let's take a look at the Poison Extinguisher Set. This is a 3-piece set that occupies the head, hands, and feet slot. The 2-piece set bonus is a chance to trigger a damage buff that lasts 10 seconds with a 20-second cooldown. When the buff triggers, you'll see a sword icon hovering above your head. The 3-piece set bonus doubles the damage boost from the 2-piece effect. This set is actually passable in terms of usability. It just loses a few marks for making my character look like she's bald under the hat. Anyways, if there's anything that I forgot to mention or wasn't too clear about, feel free to just leave it in the comments below, or come join the Discord. We're always up to some weird stuff over there. As well, I wanted to just thank Luke for helping me get some of the necessary materials to make this video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy farming.